Hey everyone, Andrew from Educate here, and you're here because you want to install and use NVIDIA Rapids from Windows. Now, just a word of warning, although it may seem more convenient to use Rapids from Windows compared to dual booting with Linux, the main drawback with Windows is that you have to install the latest developer version. And the reason why that's a problem is because the latest developer version, which at the time of recording this is Windows 11 developer version, that's not as stable as the latest Windows 10 build, and Windows even acknowledges this. In my 2 days with the Windows 11 developer version, I got a blue screen from updating my Bluetooth driver, and my right-click drop-down menus disappear when I'm in Windows Explorer. Apart from that, everything else seems stable, but your mileage will vary in terms of stability. My last note before we jump into this is that this video follows the exact same installation steps in the video from the official NVIDIA developers YouTube channel called Rapids on Microsoft 10 using WSL2, and you should check that out. The only thing is, when they made their video, the latest developer version of Windows was Windows 10, which made installation pretty straightforward. But now that the latest developer version is Windows 11, there's a couple of extra steps you'll need to do, which we'll cover in this video. Anyway, if you're okay with that, let's jump on the computer and install Rapids. So we're going to start by signing up to the Windows Insider program, and the reason we need WIP is that we need access to a build version of Windows that's above 20,000, and the Windows Insider program gets us access to this version. So we'll open up the Start menu, type in Settings, click Update and Security, and then Windows Insider program at the bottom. Click on Get Started, Register, Sign up, accept the terms of agreement and click Submit. And you now have to link your account to the Insider program. So we'll select our Microsoft account. If you don't have one, it's pretty straightforward and easy to make it. And the Insider setting we received was Release Preview Channel, but we need Developer Channel, and I'll show you how to do that. For now, just click Confirm, Confirm, and Restart Now. As you're restarting, I want you to boot into your BIOS because you'll need to change a couple of settings. First, you'll need to enable CPU virtualization. Mine is located in CPU configuration, SVM mode, and I'll enable that. The other thing we have to enable is the Trusted Platform module, which has been a big hoo-ha requirement for Windows 11. Mine's in this menu, AMD TFPM configuration menu, and I'll set TPM to firmware TPM. Press OK and boot back into Windows. Once we're in, let's just go back to Settings, Update and Security, Windows Insider program, and check that we still don't have developer access. Nope, we don't. So to enable it, you're going to open your registry editor, and you'll go to HK Local Machine, Software, Microsoft, Windows Self-Host, UI, and Selection. We'll update this UI branch value to dev, and then go to applicability above and update dev to dev. If it's not already there, create a new entry for it, and we'll restart our PC. Once we're back in, we'll check Settings, Update and Security, and Windows Insider program. And yes, we've got access to the dev channel. Awesome. Next, we'll open up Windows Updates and perform all the necessary updates, including the most important one, downloading the Windows 11 Insider Preview, which you can see the build version is above 20,000. It's 22,000. Awesome. Now, this step took me over 2.5 hours, so I'm just going to skip ahead to Windows 11. I didn't face any issues with this step, it just took a long time to update. Awesome, 2.5 hours later, we're in Windows 11. Now, we have to install the latest NVIDIA CUDA on WSL drivers, which can be found at developer linux.nvidia.com/CUDA/WSL/download. Now, since I have a GTX 1070, I'll download the GeForce driver. The link will ask you to log into the developer program. It's free to join. Just sign in and you'll get the download link. Open it, and when it's done, follow the installation steps. I've already installed the latest drivers and didn't experience any issues here. It was pretty straightforward, so I'll skip right ahead. After installing, open Command Prompt and type in NVIDIA SMI. You should see the driver version you just installed along with the latest CUDA driver, which at the time of recording is 11.4. The next thing we have to do is install Linux via PowerShell. So we'll open up the Start menu, type in PowerShell, run as administrator, and we'll type in wsl:/install-d ubuntu-1804 and press enter. If all goes well, this Linux terminal should open up, but if it didn't, restart your PC and try that command again and it should open up. Then we'll create a new Linux username and password, and amazing, we're in Linux. Next, we'll install Python Miniconda into Linux. So if we go back to our browser and type in download latest Miniconda, open up the first link and look for the latest version on Linux, which at this point in time is Python 3.9 64-bit. Copy that URL, go back to Linux and type in wget and paste that URL to start downloading it. When it's done, type in bash miniconda-py39 and press tab to autocomplete the file name, and then press enter to install it. Enter to continue and keep holding enter. Type in yes, enter, yes, and then for changes to take effect, close and reopen your current shell. So we'll close this and open it again. And then finally, we're going to install Rapids. So let's go back to the browser and type in rapids.ai. Click on Get Started at the top and select Release. Now the combination we want here is Conda, Stable, Rapids and Blazing SQL, all packages, Ubuntu 18.04, the latest Python, and the latest CUDA. We'll then copy that command generated and paste that into Ubuntu. This took about 15 minutes, so we'll come back when it's done. Awesome, that's finished installing. So we'll activate the Rapids container by copying and running that conda command. Awesome, you can see we're in the Rapids container and we'll launch Jupyter Notebook. Next, we'll create a new notebook. And let's try importing the CUDA data frame library with import CUDF. Now, if everything was done correctly, this will run without any errors. And awesome, that worked. Lastly, if you want to copy files from Windows to Linux, we just open our terminal, and I've got some fake data here that I want to import from this Windows folder. And I'll just make a note of it here. And then in our Linux terminal, we type in copy /mount C drive users Andrew documents work fake data. And I want to copy the 0.5 gigabyte .csv file. So we'll copy that into the current folder in Linux with a full stop and /. And if I use ls, we can see that the file is copied across. And if I check Jupyter, there's the file. Then we can open our CSV with a CUDA data frame. Display that on screen. check the data frame info, and that's it. Everything's working as expected. Awesome. That's it for this video. If you've found it useful, then please give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. And if you're new around here, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you later.